Hello, Palladium fans. We are here with a sort of special, a history of Palladium books. Kevin, we've got you here today because we're going to be talking about an old book that we've already covered, but because it's just released, by the time this video comes out, it'll be available on palladiumbooks.com. I saw it like as we were getting set up for this, but we're going to be talking about Island on the Edge of the World, but now it's updated for second edition Palladium Fantasy.
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. Well, before we get into that, let's talk about, well, first of all, let's talk about this gorgeous cover. Clyde Clyde Cadwell, right?
Yep. Clyde
Yeah.
Caldwell. Yep.
Gosh, it is. Oh man, the colors on the new version look way
Different.
more vibrant than the ones on the one I have. That's awesome.
We have to we want to make sure people know it's a second edition, so we went with a different color for the logo and such.
Yeah.
And likewise, the interior art has been grayscaled by Jeremy Caldwell, who also did all the black, white, and red art for the Ninja Turtle editions.
Oh,
The guy is
awesome.
an excellent artist. Yeah, it was great to get him. It was funny when I reached out to him. He's like, "Well, I don't know, my schedule's pretty packed. How many pieces are there?" And I'm thinking it's a lot because there was like I don't know 50. And he's like, "Well, if you can get them to me right away, which of course we could,
Yeah.
um, I think I can get them done in 3 weeks. I can squeeze them in between these two other assignments." And I'm like, "Okay, awesome."
Yeah, twist my
So we
arm.
sent it out, and he banged them out. The guy's fantastic. So,
That's awesome.
and
Well,
they look great. They look great.
I love I love the black, white, and red recolors. So I can't wait to get this book and check it out. So
Well,
let's
remember,
go.
just remember in those, he's actually working with a full color palette. So there's
Right.
elements of yellow and stuff
Yeah.
to get different tones and hues and warmness. This is all straight, grayscale, but it still looks kick ass.
Oh yeah. So this book was written by Tom Bartle, right?
Correct.
Now, as I recall, he's one of the Defilers.
Correct.
So which Defiler was Tom?
So
And
so
what led him to do to say, "Hey, I want to write Island at the Edge of the World"?
So Tom was with me from like the very beginning. He was one of my very first players. And in fact, if I recall the story correctly, um, apparently Julius had posted some stuff with the Wayne Wargamers saying that he was running D&D games. And they came to where he was running games, and thank goodness they arrived when they did, because they show up and Julius is like, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry, that was like an older notice. I'm not doing that. In fact, I'm going to be leaving in a few minutes to play in a game." And they were like, "Oh," and he's like, "Wait, why don't you join me? The game master is really good. I mean, he's a new guy, but he runs a really cool game." And they really had nothing else to do. They were really geared up to game, and they're like, "Well, we could go home and play something ourselves, or we can go see what this new guy
That's right.
runs, and if he's any good." And apparently it must have been pretty good, because they never left. But so they came and played in my game, and they became it was Tom and his brother Ken and a couple of their friends. Actually, I think three of their friends, and they became the members of the original Defiler team. Tom, in the illustration that appears on page 3 of the Tom Barthold's character is in the background, and most people assume he's a giant,
He's the
and,
god, right?
and he is giant, but he was at that point a second level god.
Yep. So from player to writing, book six of the Palladium Fantasy line, so first of all, did the Defilers ever go to the island on the edge of the world, or is this something that Tom came to you with and said, "Hey, I've got this idea"?
Yeah, so no, the Defilers never went to the edge of the world that I remember. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. I think I had stopped the campaign by then, and Tom had a bunch of great ideas. Tom's a really great idea guy, um, and he pitched the idea for this book, and I loved the title, and I loved the ideas, and I said, Tom, go for it. Plus, I thought it was cool that one of the Defilers are actually writing
Right?
a fantasy book, and so no, and the thing is, Tom, like so many people, once they actually dive into writing, they're like, "Holy crap, this is hard."
Yeah.
So he did a decent job. I had to come in and clean some stuff up, and I added a little bit here and there, but it's really, really great stuff.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, in fact, it's funny. I've written and published so many games and source books. I forgot how awesome the source book really is.
Oh man, the crystal magic, the Church of the Scar, the island, even the fact that the secret history of the changelings in the Palladium fantasy world, all just amazing stuff.
Well, and that kind of grew out of a campaign I ran after the Defilers that Tom was part of for like I don't know, like 5 years, I think, six
Oh
years,
wow.
7 years. Um, and he was playing a changeling, and so we explored a lot of different things with changelings, and I think that was sort of the part of his inspiration. He just loved the idea of changelings, and but a lot of stuff. All of us were very creative and into all kinds of different characters. So, and Tom's one of those guys who likes to play the oddball characters. I mean, he's played a drunken monk, and obviously he became a second level god at one
Second level god
point.
had the symbiote parasite.
Yep, yep. And he played Noah, the wandering. I think he was a wandering archaeologist. Uh, so it's just a bunch of silly, fun, great adventures,
That's
and
awesome.
some of them made it. His ideas made it into that book. So
Very cool. Well, and this is a question that like normally I catch you off guard with questions, but I think I just caught myself off guard with a question. Aside from like with Island at the Edge of the World coming into, being updated for second edition. So, all of the things that you would expect from, like old ones and, Adventures on the High Seas where we've seen you, take go from the first edition system. There's not a lot of changes to be made, but there's several changes that have to happen for every stat block kind of all the
right,
way through, which, there's changes between first and second edition. Again, mainly a lot more SDC and, things like that.
yeah,
But
PPE and that kind of thing. Yep.
yeah, the PPE versus the original hand-to-hand magic, which both are cool systems. I really enjoyed the first edition. Um, it this is the second to last book that needs to be updated to second edition for Palladium Fantasy, right? The only one left is Yin Sloth Jungles, because
Expeditions.
yeah, after Yin Sloth, those books were all second edition.
Right.
Very cool.
Yes.
So,
Yes. So yeah, and I do want to give credit and a shout out to John Klinkle, because it was he who came to me and said, "Hey, when are you going to get to this?" And I'm like, "I got so much stuff going on." He goes, "Would you mind if I took a stab at updating the stat blocks and adding a little information here and there?" And I said, "No, please do." So thank you, John Klinkle. He's got credit in the book too.
awesome.
But you might not have this in your hand if it wasn't for John Klinkle.
Well, thanks,
Um,
John. And I was going to ask if if it was just a strict update or if some parts got expanded, because that is something that Palladium does when they do a revision of a book. They're like, well, let's just, pry apart a couple of pieces and add some new information in there.
in this particular case, it's a pretty strict update,
Okay.
although we moved some of the blocks information around a little bit. and there is an index and
Oh,
a redone
fantastic.
contents page. So it's going to vary a little bit from the original book. We also moved and used art here and there in a little different way than the original book, but it's fundamentally the same book, just upgraded to,
Okay.
or I should say, updated
Okay.
to second edition rules. Although again, it was it was retypeset, relaid out, the whole 9 yards. So
Awesome. Well, you guys can get your copy over at palladiumbooks.com, which is where I have my order page set up over here, ready to do. And or ask your friendly local game store. Hey, love to get this book in. Any other final thoughts on Island at the Edge of the World?
just it's a heck of a book if you're looking for some weird villains and
Hmm.
offbeat adventures, and some scary. I mean, you got demons and skeletons and the life force mage, and this is where he originally appeared,
Hmm.
and like you said, crystal magic,
Crystal
which
Magic. Like my
can
group loved
dangerous.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone loves the crystal magic,
Yeah.
and I think there's like 50 crystal magic spells, if I recall correctly,
Hmm.
and a bunch of magic items. So I think that's one reason it's like a fan favorite, and why people are going, "Where the hell is this book? Get it out! Quit fooling around with Yin Sloth jungles and Yin Sloth expeditions."
No, no,
Um,
I wouldn't go that far because I'm really excited for. I love the Yinsloth jungles, and when that comes out, trust Palladium fans that I will be like, Kevin, we have to do a, an episode on this update and expansion of the Yinsloth jungles.
oh, yeah. The Yin Sloth Jungle, the core book is out, obviously,
Yeah.
but Yin Sloth Expeditions, that's the book that's got like 30 maps, and they're all redone. It's got, I don't know how many freaking adventures at this point, at least 10, maybe it's more like 12 or 14. Plus, there's adventure tables and all kinds of new information about different places, the Dragon City, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I am not so patiently waiting for that book. So
Yeah, me too. I want to get to it, and I'm just pulled in 100 different directions. But all those directions are also good and important things for
yeah.
Palladium. So,
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting about this book. I'm excited for the second edition. Go out and get yours today, everybody. There'll be a link in the show notes so that you can go directly to palladiumbooks.com and pick it up.